Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict. Again, welcome to all the new subscribers, to my returning regulars. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment anytime you'd like, and by all means, share the video with anybody that might get something out of it. What an absolutely incredible few days it's been. But you know what? It's what an incredible few months it's been. Guys, my life has started to expand in ways I can't even begin to describe, and I share them with you all the time. You guys that have been here with me, you know what I'm talking about, and those of you that are new, well, stick around, you'll find out. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos, and you'll get there. And you know what, guys? I came up with or actually, I overheard something that I can't even take credit for it, but it literally applies. My life started becoming amazing because I stopped thinking that things were impossible, and I started believing that I'm possible. And I know it's just a little wordplay, right? But literally, guys, what I'm finding is it's the intention, it's the words that you tell yourself, it's the thoughts that you allow in your brain, and then it's the actions that you take and that make the difference in life. I'm the same person that I was, 6 months ago when I was absolutely I can't I don't even have words to describe how miserable my existence was. I was constantly reacting to things that were pushing me around, and people, just telling me what they expected of me, and again, and it's because everybody knew I was hurting, and I would, yeah, I just, I was I was working so hard to hide everything, and then I finally said enough, and again, I talked about before, guys. This whole thing started for me one night when somebody asked me when the last time I prayed was, and I said it in decades since I prayed, and she asked me to say a prayer, and I did, and it felt a little bit lighter, so I kept doing it. So the next night, and it started making me want better. Like it started making me realize just how miserable I was, and that there was more to this life, and that if I didn't make a change, it was just going to keep going until eventually I killed myself, and not, actually commit suicide, but I'm saying run myself into the ground, because it's literally that's what I was doing. I was a mess. I mean, I wasn't eating. I mean, I was eating, one microwave side dish, every couple of days that I would steal from the grocery store because I couldn't afford to eat, even though I was making, a lot of money. But I was living on drugs, and then I was by myself, and miserable, and I didn't want to face the situation I put myself into. So I was doing more drugs to keep myself from having to acknowledge and think, and then I was just everything to get out of myself. And literally, that was what the problem was. I mean, it was a lot. I had to go through a lot. I mean, I try to make it seem or look like it was easy, but no, I did. I mean, but in a way, it certainly is. What it took was the intention. What it took was the action. What it took was surrendering, and that was the beauty of it, guys. I finally said, okay, enough is enough. I can't keep going like I'm going. I'm gonna go to rehab. But again, first I tried doing it on my own, but when you need help, you need help, and I'm the first to admit that now. And then again, I try to be upfront and honest with you guys, because what I'm trying to do is explain. I mean, because guys, I wouldn't be on here doing these things if my life was not supernaturally blessed today. I am constantly in awe of what has happened in my world in a few short months. I mean, 90 days, basically, really 120 with the month that I spent in rehab. But as far as action steps, although that was hugely important, I don't consider that as where I really made. I mean, I'd made the internal changes, but I didn't bring that. Like it's when I came out of there and I got back into the real world that I started, building my life. And again, we're still in very early days, but the early results are in, and you guys have, have seen. I mean, between it is beyond exhilarating, and it is beyond amazing to me, and it is beyond worth sharing, which is why I do these videos. And again, I do this to encourage you, because you can do this. Anybody, every single one of us on this planet are capable of absolutely amazing things, and you can change your life in any way, shape, or form that you want. You've just got to, if you're having issues like I was, you've got to remove those issues. You've got to get better. You've got to make yourself healed, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. In my case, I needed all of the above. And that's fine. I have no problem admitting that, because I've done all of the above. I'm getting the most amazing results. my life is expanding and blossoming in every facet, in every way, shape, or form, and I'm so incredibly in love with life today. I'm in love with myself today, and not in a cocky, conceited way, but just the fact that I see the beauty of who I am, and then instead of trying to be someone that I'm not, I decided to step back and look at who I really am, and then feed and lean into my strengths, and then develop my weaknesses, but basically follow the life that my soul wants to live, which, ironically is a much better life than I was ever living. I literally surrendered my will to God and let Him guide me and through prayer and meditation into what I want to start doing. And again, I've been getting the intuitive nudges and the thoughts that pop up in my head, and if they seem in alignment with what I'm trying to do, and it seems to make sense, even if it's hard, that's fine. Because I understand that those things are popping in my head for a reason. That they're what wants to be done, whether it's through me, the universe, divine, God, spirit, my ancestors. I don't really have all those answers, but I follow my intuition. I follow the nudges and the breadcrumbs that I'm getting by the opportunities that are presenting themselves to me. And again, when I do, guys, I still step out of line. I still make mistakes, but I immediately catch myself because it feels so wrong the minute I'm doing something that's not in alignment with who I am and what I'm trying to do. And then by challenging myself to get out of my comfort zone, because again, guys, I still have deficiencies and I'm working on it, and I'm perfectly okay with that because I'm a work in progress, like we all are. And I hope to be a work in progress for the rest of my life, even though I'll hit new milestones. But every time I reach a new plateau, I want to start reaching higher, and I want to reach for the next gold ring, right? I just want to make a difference. I want to make the most out of the time that I have left because I wasted a long, long time. And I can't even, yeah, I did, but I did not, because now what I did was I looked at my history and I said, okay, well, I have all this experience of walking through hell and addiction and having been sent to prison and like all these things, that just this huge bag of shame. How do I walk into a room and try to be a new person with this history? Do I just have to lie? And then that's the whole thing. No, you don't. You got to find a way to make what you have work. And that's what I've done by turning my story into something I'm using to help other people and putting it out publicly, and then getting in front of it by saying, okay, well, this is where I was, now look where I am. And then to make that work, I'm making myself the best version of me, and I'm being of service, and I'm being just literally the best person I can in every way, shape, or form. So now I stand out in every room on regular, but then I put my story in front of it, and people are like absolutely amazed at having dealt with what I dealt with, and having survived what I've survived, to have the amazing attitude. And I take the strengths and the stuff that I learned working so hard to try and keep my head above water, and I apply them to the real world. And only now I treat myself properly, and I've opened a business, and I'm using my skills to build my company. And I'm literally taking everything in my life and I'm using it in a positive way. And I'm getting very creative in ways to do so, but I'm not doing it wrong in any way, shape, or form. I'm looking for ways to make it good for the group, good for the collective, good for the community, in every which way. And again, it's just a little bit of creative thinking and thinking outside the box. But we have free will. We live in a free world. Any one of us can do anything we want. Entrepreneurship is wide open these days. The internet is at our disposal. So what I did was I took my story of addiction, and I decided, because mine's pretty crazy. It's one thing I learned in the halls of AA and NA and all the different recovery groups that I'm in. We all share very similar situations, but very few make it as far and long as I had, because my thick ass skull and my refusal to give up, I stayed out in misery much, much, much longer than most people, any people would. Most people would either fold up and A, if not have made it as far as I had, or B, just you've given up. And that's so I started looking at all these things and going, well, why didn't I? What is it about me? And this, well, I've got a very strong spirit. I've got a strength that very few will ever know. And I've got a faith that's deeper than the ocean. And I'm like, okay, well, let me lean into my faith. Let me use my strength. Let me apply all these things that I have into making my life better. And then let me turn around and use my experience to help other people show other people what it's possible to overcome and to get through. And then in order to make that work, I have to push myself to excel in life. because just surviving it is not good enough. I've got to show you that you can overcome it and not let it hold you back, and then you can succeed. So I said, okay, I'm going to put myself into opening my business. I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to do the best job around. I'm going to be the nicest person around, and that's natural. I mean, I have a big heart. I like to be nice, but again, that is a choice, guys. You can change your personality, right? I mean, there's always a reason we do and act the way that we do. So if there's reason you're aggressive and aggravated and mean and just, shutting people out, heal those things. I did. I took the time I needed. I worked with therapists. I worked with, medical doctors, dentists, dermatologists. Everything I had to go into the gym, getting exercise, getting out in nature, just trying all these different things to find out what applied to me. Reading. Education was huge, guys. I read and watch videos and do seminars and everything about self-development and finding out my own personal psychology to find out why I was doing the things I did. And I found ways to get over and release. And that's the other thing, guys. You got to be able to release. You can't carry all that baggage with you. And I've managed to do all these things, and you can. This is why I'm doing these, guys. Follow my story. Follow what I've done. Try what I've tried. Apply it to your life in any way that you can. And you can. But you've got to go through all the way. The biggest thing, detachment. That's what we'll talk about for a minute here. We're already 11 minutes in, so we're going to wrap it up soon. But detachment is huge. You can't carry angst and worry about the things that happened yesterday if you want to move forward to tomorrow. You just absolutely cannot. You have to be able to reinvent yourself. In order to reinvent yourself, you've got to let go of all those pains and hurts. But you've got to acknowledge them and find out why they happened and change that situation so they don't continue to happen. Because if the same things continue to happen to you, you're not going to be able to let go of the past ones because you're just going to group them into the present ones and you're not getting anywhere. I hope that's making sense. But guys, if you can do these things, you can literally change your life, and you can literally change it for the better in such a fast, short period of time. You'll start thriving in no time soon. And everybody in the world, as much as misery loves company, people love to back a winner. When they see somebody making a difference and making a movement and doing well, and particularly if you're the underdog, people will rally around you. You will find support. If you can't find anybody else, reach out to me. I will support you so long as you're doing the right thing. And I tell you what, you'd be amazed what I'm capable of doing and finding to help other people. And I love to do it. It literally makes me happy. It makes me amazingly happy. It's why I do everything I do. You do all these things, guys. You gotta sit back and find. You gotta get creative. You gotta think outside the box. You gotta find a way to make the things that are hurting you your strength. You gotta take the impossible and turn that into the I am possible, because I've done it and I've proven it and it works incredibly well. I mean, the results are speaking for themselves. I am not the person I was 3 short months ago, and I didn't like that person at all. There were attributes of that person that I had no choice but to deal with. But there were a lot of, and again, it wasn't necessarily the person. No, it was a person. The person I was at that point is not the person that I am today. I love the person I am today. I'm proud of the person I am today. And I love getting up, waking up every day and looking at the world around me and looking at the difference that I'm making and then looking at the way that the world is treating me. I was so far under the gun all the time, reacting to outside stressors and trying to just put out fires all day long. Today I get up and I relax and I meditate and then I decide what I'm going to build today instead of go put out a fire. I'm no longer a fireman. I'm now Bob the Builder. And I like being Bob the Builder a lot more. I'm going to try and keep these short and keep the engagement higher. Guys, thank you so very much for letting me do this, for spending your time with me, for the comments, the views, the subscriptions. Please reach out. Let me know who you are. Say hi. Let's get to know each other. We're all going to be part of this community here. But more than anything, guys, just know that I believe in you, and this is why I get up there and I share my ugly truths, and then I share what's working to heal my ugly truths with you all, because I know you can all do it as well. And every time one of us wins, we all win. Every time we make a difference in this world, the world gets to be a better place, and that's for all of us. That's for you, that's for me, it's for your children, my future children, I hope, and just everybody around us, guys. Guys, God loves you. I love you. Thank you all so very much. I'm so incredibly honored, encouraged, enthused, thrilled, happy, and we're going to keep doing these things, okay? God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next one.